Good evening. It's 6 o'clock on Wednesday, March 29th, 2017. Welcome and thank you for joining us tonight for the English edition of Aura News, where we bring you today's top stories translated into English every weeknight. The government has declared war on cannabis cultivation and will include the military and intelligence services in the fight. Today, the Vice Prime Minister presented the government's war plan against cannabis and declared that the aim is to control the issue in its early phases. The government's plan was drafted by a group of experts and approved by the Council of Ministers, with the Vice Prime Minister announcing that he will lead the effort against cannabis. The Vice Prime Minister said, starting this year, state police, law implementation bodies, and all other institutions with connection to the issue will engage in a broad and well-combined operation to ensure early identification of the phenomenon and hit it in its early phases. The state police, intelligence services, military services, agriculture services, health services, local government services, and international partners will all be part of a central task force and of the local task force. Officials who fail to get control over their appointed territory will face tough punishments, as stated by the Vice Prime Minister. Our plan predicts serious measures against all officials at central and local levels who do not manage to keep territory under their administration and responsibility in effective control. The plan also calls for the vetting of the officials with high responsibility in this field. The identification and seizing of assets pertaining to criminal activity is an important criterion to measure the success in confronting the cannabis phenomenon, added the Prime Minister. The former Minister of Justice Uli Manjani reacted immediately to the statement, writing, "I welcome the statement of the Vice Prime Minister who accepted my suggestion to include the military in the fight against cannabis. Mr. Peleshi is the only one who listens," he wrote on Twitter. Mr. Manjani was the first to propose including military forces in the fight against cannabis, a statement that provoked political debates at the time. The government's plan also includes raising public awareness, facilitating the fiscal burden, and providing social support to individuals and communities at risk. State Police Department is holding meetings throughout the country to present the national strategy against cannabis. High-level state police representatives were in Vlora, Gjirokastra and Vlora today, locations identified as problematic for cannabis planting, ranking Gjirokastra and Vlora as the top cities on the list for cannabis issues. The state police director was in Vlora conducting the meeting, where he said the drug cultivation situation in the coastal city is widely spread and problematic. He asked the participants to share their information and coordinate their actions in order to stop any effort to cultivate cannabis. The Vice State Police Director was in Gjirokastra, where he emphasized that cannabis plantation in the city has increased 7.2 times since 2015, expressing his concern for incriminated state police officers and the failure to apprehend cultivators. The director of the State Police Order was in Vlora, highlighting the need for more cooperation between institutions in order to remove the drug-growing phenomenon. Prime Minister Rama was awarded the highest French title, Commander of the Legion of Honor, by the French government today. The Albanian Prime Minister was awarded for his role in preserving peace throughout the Balkans and for strengthening the French-Albanian economic and cultural relations. The French Prime Minister presented the title to Prime Minister Rama, saying, "You are a great friend of France. Convinced of the necessity to strengthen our bilateral relations, you have always supported economic and cultural projects that have contributed to this. I know that the projects are already numerous, starting with the Trans-Adriatic Pipeline. This major infrastructure project, whose execution was entrusted to a French enterprise last year. France is also grateful to you for the active role you play in favor of peace and cooperation in the Balkans. You are the first head of the Albanian government to have committed your country with courage to the road of reconciliation with Serbia, and especially you, in agreement with your Serbian counterpart, have managed to set up a regional youth office that brings together 6 Western Balkan countries. Prime Minister Rama thanked the French president for the special assessment, saying, "I am barely pulling myself together because I did not expect such a thing," which of course is more than welcomed. "I like to thank you from the bottom of my heart, and also, Mr. President, I do not know if I deserve this, but it is undoubtedly a tremendous honor for someone who arrived in France as an artist, who had never thought that one day he would be in the salons of French politicians and prominent people. Receiving this award is really a dream. This is a dream, in fact, that I had never dreamt of," said Rama. Rama is the first Albanian prime minister to be honored with this title since 1930, and the only one awarded outside the conditions of reciprocity, at the initiative of the French president himself. Democratic Party Chairman Lulzom Basha is in Malta attending the European People's Party Congress. The DP chairman held a meeting with the Prime Minister of Hungary, Viktor Orban. According to the Democratic Party press office, Mr. Basha and Mr. Orban discussed political developments in Albania and the topic of free and fair elections. The DP chairman said, "The cause of free and fair elections is inextricably linked to Albania's European integration." Mr. Basha informed Mr. Orban that a provisional government will implement the decriminalization law, fight against drugs and dirty money, and create the necessary conditions for free and fair elections. For his part, according to the Democratic Party's press office, Hungary's prime minister declared that the Fights Party gives their full support to the opposition's action, which they claim will ensure free and fair elections in the country. Chairman Basha delivered a speech at the European People's Party Congress in Malta, where he spoke of the opposition's protest and its claim for free and fair elections, saying, "Being a candidate country for EU membership, holding free and fair elections is a necessity for Albania. This cannot be realized without a provisional government, which will implement decriminalization." The opposition began a protest on February 18th because politics in Albania are closely connected to organized crime, and we cannot hold free elections without establishing a provisional government. Albania is #1 in marijuana production. Drug plots occupy 75% of the territory. This is the government's responsibility as it cooperates with crime, declared the DP chairman, adding that the government is trying to manipulate the elections by not accepting electronic voting and counting. The U.S. Ambassador Donald Liu and EU Ambassador Romana Vlahutin held a meeting today with 2 MPs of the Libra Party, Mr. Ben Blushi and Ms. Mimosa Hafizi. The meeting included discussing the possibility of dialogue between political parties in order to calm the political situation as the June 18th elections are coming. The Libra MPs expressed their determination to participate in the elections and to vote on the vetting law in Parliament. They proposed possible solutions for the current political crisis to the ambassadors, which they feel may improve the situation. After the meeting, MP Hafizi gave a short statement saying, "We discussed the upcoming elections, the possibilities to improve the electoral process, the possibility for Libra to continue to be a constructive opposition in Parliament. We also discussed the possibilities Libra has to make dialogue happen in order to overcome the political crisis and unblock the vetting process." MP Ben Blushi announced that the Libra Party is seeking a president who is not part of the parliamentary majority. The MPs and ambassadors also discussed the internal functions of the Libra Party. Mayor Viliaj inspected Tirana's new boulevard construction today, from where he announced that the first section of the boulevard will open for both pedestrians and vehicles by the end of May. The project for reconstructing the boulevard is in its final phase. The mayor announced, "We have progressed with the work on the new boulevard. Only a few weeks are left until the underground parking is open. Starting in May, we will open the first 400 to 500 meters of the boulevard. The main road access will have a light system suitable for everyone using the boulevard, including vehicles. We will have a more friendly light system at the main square by the former train station," added the mayor. Mr. Villai said that the new boulevard will be similar to the best boulevards in Europe, that it will be a space that respects those driving, pedestrians, and anyone wanting to rest in the green areas surrounding the boulevard. That's all for our English edition this evening. Please join us again Monday through Saturday at 6 p.m. for your local news in English. My name is Mari, and on behalf of Aura News, thank you and good night.